Secretary of the Standing Committee of Public Security.
The Standing Committee on Public Safety and National Security. Members of the committee, honorable membres du comité, je constate qu'il...
Honorable members of the committee, I see that we have a quorum. I must inform members that the clerk of the committee can only receive motions for the election of the chair and cannot receive other types of motions, cannot entertain points of order, nor participate in debate.
The committee can only receive motions for the election of the chair. The clerk cannot receive other types of motion, cannot entertain points of order, nor participate in debate. We can now proceed to the election of the chair. Pursuant to Standing Order 106-2, the chair must be a member of the governing party. Nous pouvons procéder à l'élection à la présidence.
We can now proceed to the election of the chair. Pursuant to Standing Order 106-2, the chair must be a member of the government party. I'm ready to receive motions for the chair.
Receive motions for the chair. Mr. Mutz.
Thank you, Chair. And given that the chair has to be a member of government, I would suggest that and nominate Peter Julian.
Mr. Julian.
Hey, that's a joke, okay? Just to see if you're awake, Peter.
Mr. Chair, or Mr. Clerk, I do have to wonder what my colleague was drinking over the course of the break, because of course the NDP is an opposition party. But if he wants to change the rules, that's quite another thing.
So I'm now ready to receive any motions for nomination of the chair. Monsieur Fortin.
Merci, Monsieur.
Thank you, Chair. So I've understood then that Mr. Julian is turning down his nomination. So I will propose Mr. Heath MacDonald.
Posé.
So it is moved by Mr. Réal Fortin that Mr. Heath MacDonald be elected as chair of the committee. Mr. Shifty. Thank you so much. I would just like to know
whether or not, before I vote for my honourable colleague to take the presidency of this committee, whether or not he would acknowledge, before doing so, the incredible show that the Alouettes put on yesterday. Just wondering if would you be willing to do that, sir? Yes. Wonderful. So he has my vote, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Julian.
I was tempted to propose my colleague Doug Shipley, who's part of the corporate coalition, but instead I will second the nomination of Mr. MacDonald, particularly if he is going to speak to the Alouettes' surprise victory yesterday.
very well.
Monsieur Réal Fortin, il est proposé par Monsieur Réal Fortin that Mr. Heath MacDonald be elected as chair of the committee. Plaît-il au comité d'adopter la motion? Is it the pleasure of the committee to adopt the motion? Yes. So, I declare the motion carried and Mr. MacDonald duly elected. Please take the seat.
Thank you. Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to thank our former chair for the work that he has done and wish him all the best on his knee surgery. Also, I would like to congratulate the Montreal Alouettes. I'm true to my word. So I guess we'll get started right away with order of business. So if anybody has anything to say or anything going forward, let's get to work. Mr. Lloyd.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and congratulations. You've just joined our committee, I believe, this fall, but I'm looking forward to getting to know you better as the chair and looking forward to the very important work that we're going to have to be doing over these next few months. We have an important task ahead of us, It's been 9 months since the Minister of Public Safety was told about the shocking and incomprehensible transfer of notorious killer Paul Bernardo out of a maximum security prison. And it's been 9 months since victims and Canadians have yet to receive an answer for why the minister allowed for this disgraceful transfer to take place. And it's been 9 months, and nothing has been done about the fact that Paul Bernardo remains outside of a maximum security prison to this day. And it's been 9 months, and still no one in this government has taken responsibility for this decision. No one has been held accountable. Canadians and victims deserve to know what is going to be done about this, and they deserve to know who is going to be held responsible. And our conservative team will not stop until we get the answers that Canadians deserve. So thank you, Mr. Chair.
Ms. O'Connell.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. Well, we could see the Conservative script being read, and I'm sure that the Leader of the Opposition will give bonus points for accurately reading the script. And perhaps you'll even get a question or an SO31 for good behavior. But on the topic of the real issues and the real work before this committee, we've already agreed to do a study. And Mr. Chair, I would encourage you, I know that there has been some, not disruption, but without having a chair in place for a few days, I would encourage that for Wednesday's meeting, that we line up witnesses on the study for prison transfers and classification, whichever witnesses are available, that be the priority, that we start this work. We began the work with the good advice from Mr. Julian in terms of trauma-informed training. And I think that we continue this work. We have a lot of work to do on this committee. We have a lot of things to study. Including prison transfers, including C-26, which is crucially important, including auto thefts, which I know is something that was brought forward by our bloc members, but well supported on this committee. So any sort of delay only delays serving Canadians, and canned speeches from Conservatives for brownie points is not actually helpful to Canadians and victims, but the work we do is. So I would encourage that Wednesday's meeting is scheduled as quickly as possible with witnesses on the transfer study. Thank you.
So after speaking, Mr. Julian, please.
Well, actually, Mr. Chair, I would like to welcome you as chair, and you have the confidence of all four parties around this table. I did want to ask you the agenda for Wednesday as we start that important study and we do the trauma-informed information session, which I think will help to guide members of the Public Safety Committee. I agree with Ms. O'Connell as well that we need to set a deadline in terms of additional witnesses so that we next week can have the hearings that we have voted to have.
Thank you, and thank you, everyone. I was having a sidebar here with the clerk, and I was discussing about the witnesses and if they were called and when they were called type of thing, and he informed me that they will be notified ASAP to see if they can come on Wednesday. Is that correct?
Maybe I can.
Yeah, certainly.
So I'm aware. I've been informed that the Deputy Minister and the Commissioner of the Correctional Services are available next Monday. They are not available this Wednesday. So we would have to ask. I could contact the Ombudsman on victims of crimes and as well the unions to see if it's possible to meet us on Wednesday.
Ms. O'Connell.
Thank you. I would suggest contacting any of the witnesses on the list that are available. Tim Danson, representing the victims' families, if they are available Wednesday. I think it's important that we move forward on this. And if officials aren't available until the following Monday, that's fine. But we've allocated a certain number of meetings with a defined list of witnesses, and they should be contacted as soon as possible. I recognize the challenge just with Ron's surgery and needing this process to happen. But we are fully prepared to have Wednesdays or meeting on Wednesday on this study, and witnesses need to be contacted. Thank you.
Thank you. So is everyone okay with that process? Okay, yes, Ms. O'Connell,
Thank you. If that's settled, I'll move a motion to adjourn.
so moved. Adjourned.